Hello, my name is Aranza Sanchez and I'm going to present my evidence 3 of contemporary world. First, I'm going to talk about some important events that happened the last decade. The first one is the International Criminal Court. On July 2012, with 60 ratifications, the International Criminal Court enters into force, decades earlier than predicted thanks to the efforts of global civil society. Now comprising over 1,000 civil society groups, the coalition endeavors to secure 100 ratifications by 2004. Below we have an image of the building of the International Criminal Court and the logo. Next we have YouTube. YouTube is an American video sharing website headquartered in San Bruno, California, United States. The service was created by 3 former PayPal employees in February 2005. Next, we have the Iraq legislative elections. Following the ratification of the Constitution of Iraq on October 15, 2005, a general election was held on December 15 to elect a permanent 275-member Iraqi Council of Representatives. The elections took place under a list system whereby voters choose from a list of parties and coalitions. Below we have images of men who recently voted and the count of votes. Next, we have Pluto being expelled. The world's leading astronomers voted on August 25, 2016 to reduce the size of the solar system by stripping Pluto of its status as a planet. The decision was taken by 2,500 scientists at the International Astronomical Union meeting in Prague. The last one is Barack Obama. Barack Obama was the first black president elected in the US. He was actually re-elected, but his first period was in 2008, and then he was re-elected in 2012, and this year his period ends. Now I'm going to say some definitions. The first one is globalization. So globalization is the worldwide movement toward economic, financial, trade, and communications integration. It implies the opening of local and nationalistic perspectives to a broader outlook of an interconnected world with free transfer of capital, goods, and services across national frontiers. Next, we have terrorism. The use of violence. This is the use of violence and threats to intimidate or coerce, especially for political purposes. As an example of this, we have the fall of the Twin Towers, of the bombing. Our next definition is unipolar world. So basically, an unipolar world is when the power structure, when one superpower dominates alone. And lastly, we have digital era. This is the development of an evolutionary system which is characterized by the existence of digital technology which make our life easier. Now I'm going to answer some questions. So the first one is, why did the globalization emerge? It emerges with the sudden increase in the exchange of knowledge, trade, and capital around the world, driven by technological innovation. The next question is, in most cases, what caused the terrorist attacks of the 20th century? So I think what caused all these terrorist attacks was the invasion of countries which deal with the United States. For instance, Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq, and others. These countries wanted oil, so that's why they start like kinda the attacks. The next question is, how does the end of the Cold War relate with the unipolar world? Okay, so the fall of the Berlin Wall and the disintegration of the Soviet Union led to the end of the Cold War, which meant that only one power remained, this being the one from the Occidental bloc. All of these led to the start of unipolarity. And lastly, we have, how has the digital era influenced today's society? So I think it influences in everything, since most of us use at least one technological device every day. However, it gains more strength and speed in development because of the continued funding. So now I'm going to, as a conclusion, I think it is very important for us to think about everything our world has been through, because some movements, if I can call them like that, have intended, one of them being terrorism. But we cannot forget that also new eras are beginning, this being the digital era. I think it is also very important for us to stay informed about everything that happens not only in our city or our country, but all around the world, because our country may be affected by the wrong choices that are made in other ones. As an example, I have the latest US elections. As we all may know, the new president of the United States is Donald Trump. The day of the elections, I was pretty mad and I was complaining about this in Twitter, and someone told me, "Why do you complain? You aren't even from the US." And in fact, she was right. I'm not from the US. But the US is a first world, and almost everything they do has repercussions all around the world, even in Mexico. And mostly because we are like below them. So we have the obligation to stay informed, but mostly make a change. Because if we want a better world, the change has to start in ourselves. Or at least that's what I think. So this is my bibliography, and I think that's it. Thank you for your attention.